सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Together we chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 1 to 10.
अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः इदं ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः सर्गेऽपि नोपजायन्ते प्रलये न व्यथन्ति च मम योनिर्महद्ब्रह्म तस्मिन् गर्भं दधाम्यहम् सम्भवः सर्वभूतानां ततो भवति भारत सर्वयोनिषु कौन्तेय मूर्तयः सम्भवन्ति याः तासां ब्रह्म महद्योनिः अहं बीजप्रदः पिता सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः निबध्नन्ति महाबाहो देहे देहिनमव्ययम् तत्र सत्त्वं निर्मलत्वात् प्रकाशकमनामयम् सुखसङ्गेन बध्नाति ज्ञानसङ्गेन चानघ रजो रागात्मकं विद्धि तृष्णासङ्गसमुद्भवम् तन्निबध्नाति कौन्तेय कर्मसङ्गेन देहिनम् तमस्त्वज्ञानजं विद्धि मोहनं सर्वदेहिनाम् प्रमादालस्य निद्राभिः तन्निबध्नाति भारत सत्त्वं सुखे सञ्जयति रजः कर्मणि भारत ज्ञानमावृत्य तु तमः प्रमादे सञ्जयत्युत रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्त्वं भवति भारत रजः सत्त्वं तमश्चैव तमः सत्त्वं रजस्तथा
Today we start a very, very interesting topic of Vedanta and a relatively simple one as far as the Gita goes, or at least as far as this chapter goes. We just went through quite a lot of stress and strain. Now it's a little more relaxed. And it is so deceptively simple, this chapter. something so useful for us and has been put across so simply. It's a matter of genius how they come up with these things. How can you say this so simply? And this chapter is about the three gunas. It is called Guna Traya Vibhaga Yoga. It is the yoga of the distinction of the three gunas. He has been talking about the gunas all along, and now he's actually going to start explaining them in greater detail. From now on, you're going to hear a lot about the gunas. Now, you'll hear some of the things you've heard before. You have often heard many of these verses, especially verses such as the problem with knowledge, the problem with sattva, what is the binding of sattva, and things like that. So you will be familiar with many of these verses, how knowledge and happiness binds us to this world. All along, he told us, gain knowledge, gain happiness. Now he tells you this is the worst thing in the world to have. So, every time you feel like, why don't you guys make up your mind, get together, make up your mind and tell us what it is. But the fact is, as you traverse the spiritual path, what you need to do keeps changing. Like initially, you have to create unselfishness. Then you have to dump unselfishness and create the thought of the self. Then you have to dump the thought of the self and reach realization. There's so many different things you have to do, and you have to do the right thing at the right time. At the end of the journey, you have to give up the thought of God. But you can't give up the thought of God now. That would be silly. So the knowledge sort of metamorphizes, it sort of grows with us. It sort of tells us different things that we have to do. And we have to understand the whole process so that at this moment, what am I supposed to? That's what's critical for me. The reason we are understanding the whole picture is so that I understand what I need to do now and for how long I need to do this thing. This is what I have to get. So that I'm going gradually, step by step, into development, into growing up, into maturing as a human being. And maturity of a human being is very, very important. You can never overstress that, because the entire quality of your life is dependent upon you, the individual. You can, like a bird, can never outsoar the atmosphere. Like a fish can never outswim the ocean. So too, the quality of our life can never be better than the person we are. And that's one of the most important things for us to get. Because once you get that, you will not try, you will do the right amount of the right things. I mean, so should I not try to earn money? Who told you not to earn money? Who is saying all these things? But please understand where the accent lies. That's the most important part of it. Even in the spiritual path, should we not have an idol? Should we not, stuff, go to the temple or church or mosque? Should we not do all these things? Who is saying don't do them? Just understand where the accent lies. That's the difference between a person who knows a language and is fluent at the language. You can always find a person who is not fluent at a language, right? How do you know that the person is not fluent? The person may speak perfect grammar. His vocabulary may also be very good. And yet you can identify he is not a native speaker or a fluent speaker of the language. How do you do that?
When his expressions are awkward.
When his accent is not on the correct syllable. In usage in a language, you have to use a certain syllable more and a certain syllable less. It's an accent that counts. So, okay, suppose I say psychology, or I say psychology. You immediately know who is a native speaker and who's not a native, or a fluent speaker. You immediately know. Is the word wrong? No. Did he use it grammatically wrong? No. And yet you know that this is not a person who is fluent with the language. So similarly in the spiritual path, similarly in life, where is the accent is the point. And now that we are studying this, it's a very, very good time for us to understand where we are, what we need to do right now, up for how long will we need to do this. All of this will become clear. And when all of this becomes clear, we take up our path also with more dedication, in the sense you know what you're doing. You're not just, somebody told you get up in the morning and study, so you are getting up in the morning and study. Not like that. You completely understand what is happening and how you are progressing. So it's a very simple chapter. You'll be surprised how simple it is. And but like all things Vedanta, it's usually deceptively simple. So what is this chapter about? First, it begins by telling us what every human being has to know, which is that you have to transcend all of this and reach the self. Then it tells us about the gunas and what is the binding, how they keep us in this world. How sattva keeps you in the world, how rajas keeps you in the world, how tamas keeps you in the world. It binds you. Today, we may talk about developing sattva. Today, we may believe that I want all my rajas and tamas to become into sattva. Please understand that sattva has its own issues. You have to get beyond sattva as well. Now, what happens if you're in tamas or rajas or sattva? What is the effect? That's the next topic. And finally, if you are able to transcend them, what will happen? So it's a very, very simple chapter, as you can see. First is, that we have to realize the self. Since we're not realized, we have the three gunas and how the three gunas are binding us. What are the effects of the three gunas? And then how to get over the three gunas. So quite a simple chapter when you talk about it, but let's hope that it will be of a definite use in our spiritual growth. Like the word spiritual growth, so let's say maturity, because when people say spiritual growth, pata nahi kya man mein aata hai, kaun sa halo aa jayega, सिद्धि पावर्स आ जाएंगे, some miracles you will start doing, या सब छोड़ छाड़ के हिमालय चले जाओगे. None of these. You just mature as a human being. That's it. So this chapter gives you the picture, and knowing the picture, hopefully we will be dedicated to the path, understand what we're doing, and take the next step forward. Okay, so with that introduction, let us go into the chapter itself. Is anybody new in the class today? Looks like all familiar names. Okay. Only I don't know who is iPad. iPad, can you identify yourself? Do you know you have written iPad? You come along quite often, but an iPhone person. Are you people aware that you all have put this name? And are you new? That is the important thing. Okay, you probably don't know. So let us go. Verse 1. श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूय प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनये सर्वे Param siddhimito gataha. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Param bhuya pravakshyami. Jnananam jnanamuttamam. Yajnatva munayah sarve. Param siddhimito gataha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Many chapters begin with Arjuna asking a question. The Lord speaks himself. He said, it's Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, the blessed Lord said, Param Bhuya Pravakshami. Again, I will tell you. Pravakshami, I will tell you, I will declare. Vakshami, to speak. I will speak. Pravakshami, I will speak. I will declare. I will tell you. Jnananam jnanam uttama. Among the jnana, among the knowledges, which is the uttamam jnana, which is the superior knowledge among the knowledges. Yat jnatva, which having known, Twanta, for those who have studied Sanskrit, Twanta, Yat Jnatva, which having known, Munayaha. Munayaha is the plural form of Muni. Munayaha Sarve. All the Munis, Param Siddhim Gataha. They've gone to Param Siddhim, to the supreme perfection, success, whatever you want to call it. Siddhi is a word which you can use in various ways. You can use it to mean perfection, you can mean success, the supreme success, whatever that is. Gataha, gataha, gone. Itaha, itaha, here, to there, gone. So I will declare that supreme knowledge. Jnananam jnanam uttamam. The uttama jnanam. What is the superior knowledge for us to get? Bhavna will study psychology. Deepraj is studying mathematics. Momita has studied something very complicated. I've forgotten what it is. What is that thing of yours, Momita? It's so complicated. I can't remember what it is.
Instructional design.
Instructional design. Nowadays, all these people do such things that we naam hi nahi suna tha pehle. So all our youngsters are there to motivate us to learn new things. So instructional design. Mahesh has done, I don't know how many degrees he has managed to accomplish. He has done engineering and IT and philosophy and logic and so many things, so many degrees he has collected. All these people, so much education. But the Lord says, I'm going to tell you, Jnanam Uttamam. Now, suppose you say, which is the best knowledge? Is it mathematics? Is it engineering? Is it psychology? Is it instructional design? Is it, what is your Jaishi? MSW, Masters in Social Work. So, which is the best knowledge to have? Which is the knowledge worthy of having? Which is the most superior knowledge, and why is it superior? The biggest question in this world is, why would one knowledge be better than another? All knowledges should be equal, right? So when will one knowledge be better than the other? Can we say that engineering is better than psychology, or psychology is better than engineering, or mathematics is better than them both? How will you determine which knowledge is the better knowledge?
If it's helping you get towards your goal, or if it's actually making with your growth, are you developing? Are you getting more mature?
Okay, that could be one yardstick. But suppose it was a more objective yardstick, then what would be the determiner that this is the higher knowledge or the better knowledge?
And nothing more remains to be known.
Okay, when nothing else remains to be known, very good. Then what else? What were you saying, Aditi?
The permanency of knowledge.
Permanency, okay. What?
It informs the other knowledges.
It what the other knowledge is?
It helps you learn the other knowledge. It informs the other knowledges.
Okay. All right. It informs the other knowledges. Oh, good answers. But
Other people
what
are
would be your eventual yardstick? You have to use a yardstick, right? So, what would that yardstick be? How would you determine that this knowledge is more subtle than some other knowledge? Theory of everything, yes, the physicists are trying very hard to find the theory of everything. How would you determine that this knowledge is more subtle than some other knowledge?
we use the same yardstick. Is it universally? I mean, would everyone is to get? Is it more not only just more useful, but is it applicable? Is it permanent? Does it apply across the board?
Very good.
All time will it stay the same?
Very good. So, how would you determine anything is more subtle than something else? It has to be more pervasive. Right, that's how you determine. How do you determine that engineering is more subtle or mathematics is? Mathematics is. Why is mathematics more pervasive than engineering? Because engineering will use mathematics in all things, but mathematics doesn't need to use engineering in all things. How will you determine whether Bhimsen Joshi is a better singer than Justin Bieber? How will you determine this?
Same applicable because
Because Bhimsen Joshi can sing what Justin Bieber can sing.
can't. Yeah.
Correct. Bhimsen Joshi can do everything that Justin Bieber can do, but Justin Bieber cannot do everything that Bhimsen Joshi can do. Right? So, what is the yardstick for subtlety? Is pervasiveness. How much more does it pervade? Right? Now, why is this the highest knowledge? He said, I'm going to give you the highest knowledge. Why is this the highest knowledge? Because this knowledge pervades everything that happens in the world and equally pervades everything that happens within the individual. So it becomes the supreme most knowledge. Another way of looking at it is because of this, everything that happens in the world happens. And because of this, everything that happens within happens. So it is the most pervasive of them all. And hence it is considered to be the highest knowledge. It also leads to other things which you all have spoken about, which is that having gained this knowledge, nothing else remains to be known. Now that sounds like a little leap of imagination. How can you say that if you knew Vedanta, you don't need to know anything else? If you know Vedanta, you don't need to know cooking. If you know Vedanta, you don't need to know about your finances. How can you make such a statement? It doesn't make any sense to make a statement like that. That should you know this, you don't need to know anything else. It sounds like, how is that even possible? But now you need to think about it at a philosophical or on a broader canvas. Why is it that when you know Vedanta, you don't need to know anything else? Think of it like this. You are in the dream. In the dream, so many things are happening. You have knowledge about the things that are happening. You could be a, I don't know, double PhD in the dream. You could have a DLit in the dream. All this you could have, no, so much knowledge about the stuff in the dream. Then you wake up and you understand that that which you experienced was just a dream. This knowledge that that was a dream, once you know this, you don't need to know anything further in that dream. So this is the knowledge which, having known, no other knowledge is required. Take another example. Let us say that you see something on a dark night. You see a black snake. You run to your room, open the encyclopedia on snakes, study all about the various snakes, understand everything about these big fat black snakes. And then you feel, okay, now I think I know enough. I know how to deal with it. And you go out there to deal with that snake that you have seen, and you find out that it's a rope. Once you know it's a rope, you need no further information about that entire encyclopedia which you have over there. Right? So this is the knowledge which, having known, no further information is required. All right? Yes, Deepraj.
So are we equating the knowledge of Vedanta to the knowledge of the self? Because I
Yes,
thought
of
those were
course.
two different
Of
things.
course. Otherwise, what is the knowledge of Vedanta?
I thought that there was like on the chapter of renunciation, we kind of made the statement that the knowledge of Vedanta is culmination till sannyasa. I thought we equated the knowledge of Vedanta to a sannyasa.
No, the information can only go up to that. But when you say again knowledge of Vedanta, that means you self-realize, right?
Okay.
What that kind of statement talks about, how thought takes you to the penultimate level. It cannot take you to the ultimate. But the ultimate is what is the knowledge of Vedanta.
Okay. Okay. So the knowledge of Vedanta is the knowledge of the self.
Is the
And,
knowledge in the sense, understanding Vedanta means you understood the self. Vedanta cannot teach you about the self. But if you understand Vedanta, you've understood the self. That's what it means to know Vedanta. You have to
Okay,
distinguish
thank you.
between these two things here. Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah, we talked of all pervasiveness. So the knowledge of the gunas, you said pervades all other knowledges. So does that include, and it includes engineering, mathematics, everything. What does that mean? Because you can't really do with the gunas, you can't do any of them. You have to learn them separately. So what exactly is meant by pervasiveness?
Yes, except that he's not going to give us the knowledge of the gunas. He's going to give us the knowledge of the self. It's not the knowledge of the gunas that is pervasive. I'm going to give you jnanam uttamam. That is not knowledge of the gunas. That is knowledge of the self.
Okay, so all the other knowledges are part of the dream. And so when you get the knowledge of the self, none of the knowledges matter.
Right.
Jankiji, that means
Mhm.
all knowledges are secular, right?
Mhm.
Right, no?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Secular means pertaining to the world. Since all knowledges are pertaining to the world. I hope that's not confusing Deepraj again. Okay, so all knowledges, including Vedanta, are pertaining to the world, except understanding Vedanta means understanding the self. You cannot say that I've understood Vedanta, but I don't know the self. That statement you cannot make. Okay, so.
Okay.
Here. So, Jnanam Uttama. Why is it the Uttamam knowledge? Why is it the supreme knowledge? Param Gatim. Why is it the supreme, the highest, the greatest? And how will you determine that something is the supreme, the highest, the greatest? Anything subtler is more pervasive. So this knowledge pervades everything. Now there are various ways of looking at how this knowledge pervades everything. And the more relative way of doing that is to consider how, when you apply yourself to the knowledge of Vedanta, okay, to the information, to the study, to your morning study, what is happening to you is you're developing clarity of thought. It's almost like you're being given a torch. Now you shine this torch anywhere, that will become clear to you. Now you will yourself see it, and you may have seen it already multiple times, how just a little bit of additional clarity helped deal with the situation. Many, many times, you will yourself find how many situations have been saved just because of a certain degree of clarity. And with your knowledge, with your study, with your karma, that is what is to develop. Why karma? Because if you're not doing karma as part of the knowledge itself, then that clarity doesn't quite develop. Because one of the ways that you develop clarity you develop it is in the use of that knowledge, in the execution of that knowledge. So the more and more you execute it, okay? So in class, you can know that you have to be organized. This you can know in class. But unless you actually try to organize everything, organize your work, make plans, have goals, have targets, sacrifice your likes and dislikes to those targets, unless you're actually doing all these things, it won't really come through what that means. So many people take karma as a, what should I say, as a optional in Vedanta studies. It's not optional. If you want to study Vedanta, karma is incredibly necessary. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita begins with that. It says so. It says, Karma yogena yoginam, jnana yogena sankhyanam. So it is not possible to gain this knowledge without doing the karma. It's not optional. And it's not, what should I say? Acha jab time hoga tab karenge. It's not like that. You have to take up a commitment and execute that commitment. Whatever. It could be a big commitment, small commitment, that's not important. But take up a commitment and execute it. Then the real knowledge starts dawning on us. Knowledge is not information mongering. It's not just about being able to tell the definitions. It's a step more than that, where you can understand something beyond you hear Vedanta and it's so inspiring and it's so wonderful and it clarifies everything for you and you're so thrilled with it, but it is not you. So therefore, that jnanam uttamam has to be, that knowledge has to be executed. Deep Raj, knowledge without karma is like having the ingredients and not doing the cooking. Knowledge without karma is like having the recipe and not doing the cooking. Because even if you achieve the ingredients, kuch to kiya. But just have recipe, good recipe books, many recipe books. My mother, in the hope that I will cook, used to give me recipe books, which had pretty pictures and all. So I would open them, look at the pictures, close the book, and tell her, yes, okay, you make this one for me. Okay, so most of us do Vedanta like that. We'll say, okay, this is a very good quality. It is a great quality to have Arjavam. So now I will look around and see which people have Arjavam. But it's not meant for that. It's very good quality to be unselfish. See that man, how selfishly he's behaving? It's not meant for that. It's like looking at pretty pictures in the recipe book and telling somebody else to cook. So knowledge without karma is like collecting recipes without actually cooking them. So you really don't know cooking, though you have a whole library full of recipe books. Okay? Then, Momita, clearer thought is what we are aiming for now then. Yes and no. I mean, we cannot make general statements. At the highest level, you understand that this knowledge is all pervading because it is the self. Then come down a little lower and you understand this knowledge is all pervading because it's applicable in the world, all the laws, and within ourselves. That's also how you can take it as all pervading. Come down one step further in the understanding of how it's all pervading, it just gives you a sharper intellect. That means you can handle things better. So you're a clear thinker. You know how to handle life. You
What
know.
I-
So which
what
one you're pitching for is the individual's choice.
What I'm asking is that thought is the fulcrum then. So we are examining our thought process.
Yes and no. Yes, you could say that. It's difficult to say what is the fulcrum. Because if you have thought without action, that won't work. If you have action without thought, that won't work. If you have thought and action but no unselfishness, that won't work. It's difficult to kind of say what's the fulcrum. But it's like a dish, it has all these ingredients in it. And then only when it's all there, then is it biryani or something. You can't say that's the fulcrum. Some people say, no, this basmati rice is the fulcrum of the biryani. Take out the other things and see if your biryani will be. It will be boiled basmati rice. It will not be biryani. So various levels, for each person, that application may be different.
But in Vedanta, what we're doing is Jnana Yoga. That is distinct from Bhakti Yoga, which is mostly derived from emotional response, and this is derived from considered intelligent response to the world.
No, please. Bhakti Yoga cannot be emotional response, because if they all start becoming emotional, they all go mad eventually. Bhakti Yoga is a path in itself, because the emotion in that person is so high, the guru there will direct the emotion. So it's not like there also you're allowed to be as be as emotional as you like. It's not like that. There will be a direction to the emotion, all that affection, love, anger, greed, jealousy, all directed to the Lord. Now that madhuram, adharam, madhuram. Adharam, lower lip. Madhuram, what is so madhuram about a lower lip? Basically, vomitam, throwing up. That is madhuram. I mean, please, what's the big deal in that? So that the way they do it will be different, but what they're doing is exactly the same thing. They're not going to do anything different, because that's what is to be done. Now here we are doing exactly the same thing, but the tool we are using is the intellect.
Yeah, but there they are sort of purifying the emotion, while here we are purifying our thoughts, our intellect.
Both are doing both. The difference is not in the result. The difference is in the tool you're using to do.
But the focus, the field of purification is also different. So there, while you're purifying the emotions.
No, that's what I'm saying, not so. Remember that example of climbing a mountain? See, one person climbs the mountain from this side, one person climbs the mountain from this side, but at whatever level they both are, what they are seeing will be the same. So their mind and intellect will be equally purified at that level. The tools are different, not the result. Yeah. If you talk to a person on the path of bhakti, suppose there's a Jnana Yogi developed to 40%, and as a Bhakta developed to 40%, they will agree on everything.
So their perspective is the same, becomes the same, but the focus, the fulcrum that they have been using in that sense.
The tool that they have been using to reach that point is different.
Right. Okay.
So Jnanam Uttamam is the supreme knowledge, the highest knowledge, and therefore it takes you to the Param Gatam, the supreme success or the supreme goal, whatever you want to take it as. Param Bhuya Pravakshami This word is very important, Bhuya. Because of this word only all the time we call Mother Gita. Because what is the thing about the mother? She goes on repeating patiently, patiently, patiently. Similarly, Gita also patiently repeats, tells you this way, that way, this way, that way, same thing again and again and again. Who is the father? The father is the harsh experiences of life. They will not tell you anything. You act funny for one fact, they'll kill you. And the experiences don't sit and explain anything. They will give you consequences. That's it. You learn or you don't learn. But Gita is not like that. Very sweetly, she will again and again tell us, Param Bhuya Pavaksha. About the Supreme, again I will tell you. Param Bhuya. Bhuya Pravakshami. Again I will tell you. Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. The highest knowledge among all the knowledges. Yat Jnatva. Which having known. Munaya Sarve. All the Munis. Who are the Munis? The people who are engaged in manana are the Munis. Those who reflect on life, they are the Munis. So these Munis, Sarve, all of them, Param Siddham, the supreme goal, Ita Gata, from here have gone. From here means from being in depths of degradation, depression, anarchy, confusion. See, from a person who looks down at us from a higher level, he finds us all in total anarchy, total confusion, total depression. He cannot understand how are you able to survive there. Just like a person who has lived in a good place his whole life, looks at the slums and wonders how the people there can survive. In all that dirt and all that horrible thing, how do they live? How do they manage? And if he has one iota of feeling, he will try to do something about it. So similarly, the wise people, they look at us and don't know how are we surviving with this? How are we surviving with so much agitation? To which you say, no, I'm very happy. Doesn't understand, don't understand. What are you heir to? What are you living through? I will tell you again and again and again, says the Gita. That knowledge by which you can go from here, this agitation, anarchy, confusion, depression, irritation, all these things, to different world, to the highest success there is for a human being, which is just to become a human being. So tough for us to be a human. It's not tough for a tiger to be a tiger. It's not tough for a mosquito to be a mosquito. It's not tough for the cockroach to be a cockroach. Why is it so tough for us to be a human being? Let's be a human being. So all the Munayas have gone from here. All the Munaya means Munis, all the Munis have gone from here to the highest perfection. Here means this world of sorrow and ignorance, to that world of complete knowledge and complete bliss. Now, if you had that knowledge, you will be living here in this world with life being exactly the way it is and be completely and have great clarity of thought. So that not only you are benefited, but everybody around you is benefited. What a beautiful life that is. That all you do is service. Your life is superb, and anyone who transacts with you, their life is also superb. Isn't that something worth achieving? So he calls that Param Siddhi. Imagine if you're Ramana Maharishi. Now, Ramana Maharishi has a perfect life. He is satisfied with everything. Not only he is satisfied with everything, anyone in real contact with him, he is also equally happy. So, not only that, people who will, after he is no more, people will benefit from the fact that he was there. Now, what more success do you want in this world? What else is there to do? No, I want to become Bill Gates. Okay? Where is Bill Gates? Where is this kind of success? The first thing to understand what is success itself. That is for each person to decide what is success. What if I do in my life? Will my life have been successful? Oh, if I get my children educated and married, then my life will be successful. I have to settle them also. Then my life is successful. Okay, this is normal, right? What's the big deal in doing that? Make it such that not your children are financially settled, but they're totally settled. Then you've done something useful. Otherwise, all finances is fine, everything else is a mess. What is the use of that? So, go from here means go from this ignorance, go from this sorrow, go from this madness to a better world. I mean, not better world like we will all go somewhere else, but better world means internally you live a better world. All right. So I will declare again the supreme knowledge, the best of knowledges, which having known, all sages have gone from here to ultimate perfection. Verse 2. Idam jnanam upashritya mama sadhyarmamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha idam jnanamupashritya mama sadhyarmamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha. Idam jnanam upashritya, having taken ashray, having upashritya, under this knowledge, taken refuge under this knowledge, mama sadhyarmyam agata, you have become one with me. You have attained unity with me. Please note this. You have become one with me. You have attained unity with me. You have become the self. Sarge api. Sarga means to be born, creation. Sargepi, in the sarga, in creation. Na upajayanti, not born in creation. Pralaye, in pralaya. Na vyathanti. You're not, koi vyatha nahi hai pralay se. No problem with pralay. Pralay is death, destruction, whatever. So you can take it as the entire sarga and pralaya, entire creation and destruction. Or you can take it specifically as creation and destruction related to you. Share market goes up, share market comes down, something like that. Any changes. Somebody is born, somebody passes away. You're okay with that. Not because you're a feelingless person, but you're okay even with the feelings of sorrow. You're not disturbed because. So the previous verse told us that here is the ultimate knowledge. I will tell you, by which the sages will go from here to, the sages went from here to there. Now the human mind will say, Okay, fine, I will pursue this knowledge, but mujhe kya milega? Everywhere you go, the first question is, mujhe kya milega? So he knows that, and he tells you what is the benefit of it. So what is that knowledge, firstly, and what is the benefit of it? So Mahesh, please note this verse. He says, I will give you the Jnanam Uttamam. And what is that Jnanam Uttamam? That knowledge by Sadharmyam, where you will get unity with me, which means he's talking about realization. Even though that he's going to tell us about the three yogas, gaining this knowledge means gaining unity with me. So how will you know I've understood the three gunas? Because you've gained unity with it. Then you understood the three gunas. Otherwise, you've not understood the three gunas. Every part of Vedanta is like that. Do you understand the concept of three gunas? Yes. That means you're a realized soul. Do you understand the concept of causation? Yes. That means you're a realized soul. There is no division in this. If you've understood anything of Vedanta, that means you realize the self. Ya fir bhul jao. Or please work and understand more. This is not achieved. That which is to be known is yet to be achieved, as the Upanishad says. So, idam jnanam upashrita, in this knowledge, having taken refuge, you have become one with me. Means you become a self-realized soul. It's like the river has entered the ocean. There is now no difference between the river and the ocean. You're not going to get something. You're simply going to be yourself. There's going to be no difference between the me and what I now consider to be me. Same thing. So that's what he's saying. You have attained unity with me. Me you have to take as me. Most people will take that me as Krishna. Whenever a prophet uses the first person singular, he's referring to the self. So that's why all prophets tell you, come to me, come to me, come to me. Then what do you feel like saying to them? You people go to your room, discuss, decide where we have to go to. Then we will go. But they don't need to discuss because they all use me in the same sense, in the sense of the self. So if you go through Christ, very good, you will reach the self. You go through Allah, Muhammad, very good, you will reach the self. You go through Brahma, through Brahman, you will reach the self. You go through Vishnu, through Shiva, through Ganpati, through Durga. Doesn't matter which one. The important thing is you reach the self. So, mama sadharmi agata. You have attained unity with me, unity with the self. Such a person in any kind of birth or in any kind of destruction, basically it means the world, because the world is nothing but birth and destruction. Something is always created and something is always being destroyed. So the entire world, nothing. Can you imagine that internal silence that is with a person who has attained maturity? You come and tell me that, oh, this wonderful thing has happened. You have just been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Internal reaction, silence. Why? Because Tatakim. So what? Oh, you have been now declared, you're going to be put into jail. Internal silence. Tatakim. What of it? What change are you going to bring about that will make any difference to the being of such a person? What will you do? Such a person cannot ask you for anything. He is incapable of asking you, because what are you going to give him by which he is going to be any happier? What are you going to take away from him by which he is going to be any sadder? No change that occurs brings about any reaction. So this is a state we grow into. But until we are there, at least we should remember these nice words, Tatakim. So what? oh my God, I got 1,000 likes on my post. That's the king. I am getting Sangeet Natya Academy Award for singing. That's the king. What of it? Oh, the last date for filing returns is coming. The king. How many people, at the end of this July, they're all jumping up and down, up and down. Last date is coming, last date is coming. What do you mean it's coming? You knew this in April, so what is coming so great that, and every year it comes, and every year there's a dance drama around it. I don't know. In April, why wasn't it done? So basically, step by step, we're all doing every moment what we have to do. What is there in this world to get excited about? Tomorrow we are going to buy the land. Finally, registration is taking place. Step by step by step, if you have taken every step that has, what else can happen now? The pay orders are made, the stamp duty registration is paid. Now all you have to do is go to that registration office and sign. That doesn't mean we won't be celebrating. Oh, we'll be celebrating and we'll be dancing, but we are celebrating and dancing all the time. So what's the problem? One more reason to enjoy. Jayashree is going to bring us sweets and then we are all going to celebrate. If you all want to come, you also come. We're all going to trudge off to the registration office and sign. And once you're signed, Vedanta University.
Bravo! Congratulations. Great.
Thank you, thank you.
Wow.
Congratulations to all of us. We've
Yes.
all worked and we have all come to this point. Everybody has put everything and come to this point. Amazing. So, but the fact is that we've all done what we have to do and we are keeping on doing it. The excitement and all is fine, but really, what else is supposed to happen? Everything has been done. At best, it might rain tomorrow so much that we just can't make it to the office. So we won't use them. You can delay it, but the results will eventually have to come, right? Something terrible happens and you get delayed. No, that's all that is possible. But you just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. What is going to come out of it? So, what is the excitement? Success, failure, these are all imposters. Neither is success permanent nor is failure permanent. If you win today, doesn't mean you're not going to lose tomorrow. What is our Djokovic? How many times he won? Or all of them, all the greats that we have just been through, so many of them are now retiring. How many they have won? How many they have lost? And eventually, all the chess pieces go back into the box. Isn't it? So today's success doesn't mean that tomorrow is success. Today's failure doesn't mean that tomorrow is failure. It's all going on and going on and going on. It ain't over till it's over, right? So what is the undue excitement about? So when you have internal silence, in and through the excitement, okay, now don't everybody go like, oh, we are buying the plot, it's fine. We will celebrate, we will enjoy, we will be excited, we do all of that. But we all understand also that it's a step in the journey, as everything else in life is. It's just a step in the journey. The success, the failure, all of this does not predicate anything else. Critical to understand. That's what he means. In birth and death, you're okay, you're not trapped. In success and failure, in any form of change. Okay, Mamita. So the self-realized person, the prophet, lives like a waker in the dream world. Yes. I mean, he's not like a zombie because the way you put it, it would sound like a bit of a zombie. He's very participative. Think of Krishna. He's very participative in everything. He is all in there. He's the first one to jump in the pool. He's the first one to go and trouble other people. He's fully there. But he is Padma Patra Ivambhasa, like a lotus leaf in water. Born there, lives there, dies there, but is not touched by. So sometimes we become artificial, oh, I'm not touched. Not like that touched. It's a growth, like the adult in the child's world. So what you're saying is correct. The words are right, as long as we understand them correctly.
Also, why don't we have this? We don't have a tradition of prophets, but of gurus. Why is that? Like prophets in the Western world are more like follow me. This is what I've realized.
So we have a rather thinking community, It was a very highly educated thinking community, and they did not take well to all this. I will tell you what to do. Just like today, nobody will take well to this. But like Christ was speaking to fishermen, they were not a highly educated community. So they needed a different way to elevate themselves. So if it was a very debating, ours was a very debate-oriented community. We had to debate everything. And even today, everybody wants to have a view on everything. So it's a little more difficult in our country to do that. So, and in our country also, we've had people who have come to speak to the people who are not interested in all these debates. So this whole thing is there. This is like a potpourri. Everything is there. Okay. Yes, Milan. Thank you. Momita, where is registration office? Good question. Jayashri, where's the Roha? Roha is the registration office. Whoever wants to come, please come. We will all.
That is outside Mumbai, is it?
Yes, yes. We have to go near the headquarters or where the plot is.
Okay.
Yes, Bharat?
So on this point of celebration, so the internal state of all masters would be the same, but their expression would be dependent on their prarabdha, right?
Yes. If there
So
are
not,
very quiet people,
yeah.
then they may not express so much. If there are expressive people, they will express. All these external manifestations don't really count.
Yes, true. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for tomorrow, for today. And all fingers crossed for tomorrow. Okay.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Janki ji. Hari Om.
Thank you, Aunty.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Janki ji. Congratulations.
To everyone. All of us have been in this together.
Thank you, Janki ji.